it's been a terrible. I mean, 5 years. Look at this. This is horrible. This is so bad. This is very depressing. But this 6 month range where it's up 70%, this was all that I needed in order for the investment to go from being a bad one to being a good one. And then also on top of that, when you have 10,000 in an asset or whatever, you have $10,000, right? And what's interesting is sometimes we'll become so fixated on the fact that it used to be 12,000 that we forget that at least you have $10,000, which is more than most people have. Most people they'll calculate how much they lost in an investment, but they rarely calculate how much money you spent on nonsense. How much money we wasted going to the movies, going out to eat, going to buy clothes, spending on stuff that we didn't need. But when it comes to investments, we're really, really picky. And I would encourage you to consider being less picky so you don't drive yourself crazy. By investing consistently and having diversified portfolios, you are doing the right thing. All right, so what I'm going to do is go to the Q&A, and we're going to jump back in and look at a couple more examples before we bounce out. But I'm going to answer some questions here. Dr. Comer says, Doctor, I forgot to catch your breakdown of Intel. Can you walk through a put option on Intel? Yes, Intel. Woo. Intel. Hey, let everybody repeat after me. Intel, Intel, Intel. Let me show you why I'm excited about Intel. I told you I made a big investment in Intel, and I don't. Again, yeah, I can see things, I understand things, but nobody can pick the direction of individual stock. I keep saying that so that you don't think I have some magical superpower, but I think I can. Maybe I'm good at spotting like corruption or something. I don't know, but Intel is part of the Trump mafia, and my guess on my thesis on Intel is that they're a company that lost their way. They used to, everything had Intel inside 10, 15 years ago. And now Intel has really fallen on hard times because they just had bad management. But they, for whatever reason, became a favorite of the Trump administration. And so the government makes an investment in Intel that shoots the stock price up. Then they start calling their friends to make investments in Intel. Nvidia makes a $5 billion investment that pushes the stock price up again. Maybe we can see it on these charts. Let's see here. Maybe this, I don't know. Maybe this is the Nvidia investment. I'm guessing. I don't know. And then today the price goes up again because they were allegedly approaching Apple about an investment. Apple did not make an investment. Um, they did not receive any money from Apple. This is just a rumor, and this is where the market gets very dangerous because people are adding real economic value based on what could just be false speculation. But I don't doubt that this could be happening because Apple and Nvidia, what they both have in common is they are two companies that are heavily impacted by tariff restrictions of the Trump administration and just trade restrictions in general, right? And so both of these companies, both Jensen Huang and Tim Cook, have been trying. Tim Cook's the CEO of Apple. They've both been trying to gain favor with the Trump administration. Tim Cook was in the White House kissing Trump's butt. Jensen Huang flies with Trump on Air Force One. So I'm guessing maybe the way they're looking at this is like this. They're saying, look, you and I both know we got to make more of these chips in the United States. We can't just depend over. We can't be overly dependent on TSMC in Taiwan. We got to have something going on in the United States. So one of the big things that happened was TSMC committed hundreds of billions of dollars to invest in the United States. And then also Apple, I would say Apple and Nvidia are two companies that are seen as winners in this tech space. Apple, not so much for AI. Apple's been terrible at AI, but Apple is just Apple. And being Apple means you're sitting on 160 billion in cash. You're selling a ridiculous number of iPhones. So even if you're not playing in the game, you're still seen as a winner. Oddly enough, Nvidia is just the most dominant player on earth when it comes to the AI revolution. They're literally the Michael Jordan of this whole thing.